Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope that you are doing so very well. This is a video I've thought about doing for a while, but just didn't feel motivated to do it. Then I was talking to Emma, whose channel is Emma Green, about doing Enneagram videos, and I was like, it's my time, it's my moment, let's go. This is the Enneagram Book Tag. I haven't talked a ton about the Enneagram on my channel, but I have talked about it a lot on social media, specifically on Instagram and Twitter. So if you follow me there, you probably know I'm obsessed. If you don't know what the Enneagram is, it's a personality test based off of people's motivations. So rather than saying this is a list of qualities of who you are, it's more like this is what motivates you to do what you do. This is why you do the things that you do, and there are traits that fall underneath that. It's really complex, and there's a lot of intricacies in it, and that is why I love it a lot. In the Enneagram, there are 9 different personality types that are laid in a circle, and it's numbers 1 through 9. And there's a lot of diversity of how different numbers express different things and how people are very different within those numbers. I listened to a podcast once that kind of explained it like each number is a color, but colors aren't all the same. There are different shades within colors. And that's really how the Enneagram is. People fall into a personality type, but that does not mean they are like everybody else in that type. I won't go super in depth about the Enneagram in this video. I just wanted to kind of give you some context. If you want to read more, I'll leave some links down below and a link to a podcast that goes through each type that I really love by the Liturgists. And you can learn more if you want to. And without further ado, let's get started. First up, we have type number 1, the Reformer. The one's basic fear is of being corrupt or evil or defective, and their basic desire is to be good, to have integrity, and to be balanced. Type 1s are really good at fixing things. They're really good at seeing and knowing what is wrong and how it can best be fixed. They're really good at making the world a better place, and especially making themselves better and systems better and other people better. That's why for this one I have name a book that helped make you a better person. For this one I've got Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis's books always challenge me to be better and to do better, and Mere Christianity especially just goes really in depth on certain topics, and it really challenged my point of view on a lot of things regarding Christianity. I also just love C.S. Lewis's books in general, but this one is one I go back to as challenging me to do and to be better. The next number is 2, the Helper. The 2's basic fear is of being unwanted or being unworthy of love, and their basic desire is to be loved. 2's are really good at sensing other people's needs and knowing exactly what people need even before they know what they need. So that's why for this one I have name a book that was there right when you needed it. I feel like there are a lot of books I could pick for this, but the most recent one that I'm thinking of is Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welch. I don't really know exactly what it is about this book, but when I was reading towards the end, there's a couple different things that happen. I won't spoil it for you, but there's just some really heartwarming things that happen, and they just touched me so deeply, and I wasn't expecting it. It just took me aback, and I was like, wow, this is so wonderful and so beautiful, and it really encouraged me. I honestly don't know why I needed this in the moment, but I did. It gave me all of the good feels. Next up is type 3, the Achiever. Their basic fear is of being worthless, and their basic desire is to feel valuable and worthwhile. 3s are generally very ambitious, and they really go after what they want because they want to achieve those things. So that's why for this one I have name a character whose ambition you admire. And I picked Sadie from Sadie by Courtney Summers. It's kind of weird to say that Sadie has ambition because I don't know that people view what she's doing in this book as normal ambition, if you will. But Sadie's whole goal in this book is to find her sister's killer and kill him, and she is extremely determined and focused on doing that. And I looked up the definition of ambitious, and it is having a strong desire and determination to succeed, which I really feel like Sadie does in this book, even though it's not what we would typically assume as ambition. Next up is type 4, the Individualist. The 4's basic fear is that they have no identity or personal significance, and their basic desire is to find themselves and their significance and to create an identity for themselves. One big thing about 4s is that they are very melancholy and they feel things very deeply, and they're especially sentimental. So that's why the question for this is name a book that makes you feel sentimental. And for this I chose The American Girl History Mysteries. I loved these books. Obviously I still have them. I kept them for my future children. And I think these books are about actual American Girl dolls, and they take place in their historical time periods. I was never never super into American Girl dolls. My mom actually got me a My Twin doll instead of an American Girl doll, and that is in and of itself really terrifying. So back on track, was not into American Girl dolls, but was very much into these books and these stories. There's a lot of intensity in these books. There's obviously always a mystery that they need to solve, and they were just fantastic, and they take me back all the way back to childhood. The next number is 5, the Investigator. Their basic fear is of being useless, helpless, or incapable, and their basic desire is to feel capable and competent. One thing that 5s are really good at is knowing a lot about a lot. They know so much, and they can pretty much learn to do anything. So that's why for this number I have name a book that made you want to learn more about something. For this one I have just generally all of Ruta Supitas's books. Her books are always about historical events that I just know nothing about and that have really not been talked a lot about. I always finish reading her books and then I'm googling about whatever event was happening during the book. Like, I definitely was googling after Salt of the Sea, after Between Shades of Grey. She just has a way of making history come alive and making me want to learn more about everything happening in her books. And they are fantastic, so if you haven't read them, you definitely should. Next up is number 6, the Loyalist. Their basic fear is of being without support and guidance, and their basic desire is to have security and support. 6s are called the Loyalist because they are very loyal to the people in their lives. So the friends that they do have, they keep close because they're just not trusting in nature. They're also really good in problem-solving situations because they know exactly what's going to go wrong and how they can fix it before it even happens. For 6, name a character that you will remain loyal to no matter what. And for me, that character is Julian Blackthorne. I know he's not on this, but Julian in Lady Midnight is my favorite Julian, so that's why I'm holding it up. He does a lot of questionable things, he lies to people, but he is doing it all to protect his family and the people that he loves, and I love him so much. I'm actually hopefully gonna make some videos about characters that I think are different numbers, and I'm pretty certain that Julian is a 9, but he's just in a very high stress mode, so he's operating as a 6. We'll talk more about that later, but that's one of the reasons that I love him, because I'm a 9 and I can see different things in him that I relate to. Not the bad stuff, but some of the good stuff, and just how much he cares about his family and how he's so worried about being separated from them. People can hate him all they want. I love him. I would die for him. Next up is type 7, the Enthusiast. The basic fear of 7s is of being deprived and in pain, and their basic desire is to be satisfied and content to have all their needs fulfilled. 7s live a very exciting life. They usually jump from thing to thing because they're just very passionate about a lot of things, and they do a lot of experience-based things because they want to live life to the fullest. So that's why for this I have name a book that added something to your bucket list. For this one I'm going with Inklings by Melanie M. Jeschke. I read this book a very long time ago in high school. I think that if I reread this it would not hold up. It wouldn't be that good. So I just haven't reread it in a very long time because I don't want to hate it. I want to hold on to my good memories. But in this book, a girl from America goes to Oxford to go to college. Let me tell you how much I wanted to do that in college and how I didn't do it. Regrets on regrets. I still do want to go to Oxford. Even if I don't go to Oxford for school, I'm still gonna get there someday. It also brings in C.S. Lewis a little bit and J.R.R. Tolkien a little bit because it takes place in the 50s or 60s, somewhere around there. It was so magical when I read it in high school, and I just loved it so much, and it really planted that desire in my heart. It is on my bucket list until I cross it off. Next up is type 8, the Challenger. The basic fear of the type 8 is of being harmed or controlled, and their basic desire is to protect themselves or to be in control of their own life and destiny. 8s actually really like conflict, and none of the other types on the Enneagram really enjoy conflict. So you get 2 8s and they're just gonna go at it, and it doesn't make them hate each other. They just enjoy the game. They're also just very blunt people. They will tell it like it is whether or not you want to hear that. And they don't say it in a mean way or to be malicious. They are just telling it like it is. So for type 8, I've got name a character who is not afraid to tell it like it is. For this, I've got Sharzad from The Wrath and the Dawn. She enters the palace knowing that she's supposed to die that night, but she really is courageous in the face of really terrifying circumstances and is just still gonna tell everyone everything they need to know and not take anyone's crap, whether or not her own life is at risk, and that's why I love her as a character. And the last number is type 9, the Peacemaker. Their basic fear is of loss and separation, and their basic desire is to have inner stability stability and peace of mind. Basically, they want inner and outer peace. 9s are just very concerned with keeping peace in their life, so they are the most conflict averse of the numbers, I would say. They will keep all the conflict inside and keep everything that could cause them conflict out of their lives. It's just a very exhausting cycle trying to keep all that emotion inside. So 9s are also always tired, which explains why I am always tired and never get anything done at all. For this one, I have name a genre that you always turn to when you want to relax. For me, that will forever and always be fluffy contemporary books. That is always what I turn to when I feel like I need to escape, when I need to like turn my brain off, when something stressful is happening and I just really need to read something and totally lose myself in it. Fluffy contemporary summer romances, always. I know not everybody likes that and people turn to other genres to relax. That's why I thought this question was really interesting, because I really want to know what people's relaxation genre is. And that is it. That is the Enneagram book tag. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that if you didn't know anything about the Enneagram, you maybe learned something or you want to learn more because of this video. Whenever I was actually writing this whole thing out, I was like, I'm going to tag one person from every single number to do this tag. For type 1, I'm tagging Emma from Emma Green. For type 2, I'm tagging Alana from The Awkward Book Nerd. For 3, I'm tagging Hannah from Clockwork Reads, and I'm also sneaking in their page from Minimal Bookie because I also love her. For 4, I'm tagging Zoe from Read by Zoe. For 5, I'm tagging Jenna from Jenna Claire K. For 6, I'm tagging Jessie from Jessie the Reader. For 7, I'm tagging Monica from Monica Kim. For 8, I'm tagging Christina from Christina Marie. And I don't have anybody from 9, but I am a 9 and I made this tag up, so it all comes full circle. If you've taken the Enneagram and you know what type you are, let me know down below. Tell me something about yourself and why you like the Enneagram. I would love to know more. I love the Enneagram so much, and I'm sure you'll be hearing more about it on my channel because I just love it that much. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.